welcome to Sunday Night Stock Zoom call. I hope you had a productive last week and you're having a powerful weekend. Looking forward to a prosperous new year. Hey, listen, this is not financial advice. This Zoom is for education, excitement, empowerment, so that you can make your own personal financial choices. All financial decisions made by viewers should be done after talking with a licensed professional. Hey, listen, we're not wasting any time tonight. You know how we do at SNS. We get in the bag, all four corners. Sunday Night Stocks is brought to you by Breeze Helicopter Miami. Come fly with us and experience the enjoyable adventures over the Miami skies. 754-247-2310. Mention the 1 Minute Preacher and you get $20 off your next flight. Hey, listen, let's talk to our dear sister Jana. Talk to us. What's happening this week in the market?
Thank you, Griff. Good evening, everyone. I am going to share with you all a few highlights for earnings calls this week. On Monday, there will be earnings calls for Halliburton Company, as well as International Business Machines. On Tuesday, there will be earnings calls for General Electric, Verizon Communication, Johnson & Johnson, Lockheed Martin, 3M, American Express, and Microsoft. And on Wednesday, you can expect earnings calls for Boeing, AT&T, Tesla, and Intel. Thursday, there will be earnings calls for Visa, Robinhood Markets, Southwest Airlines, United States Steel, MasterCard, and Apple. And on Friday, you can expect earnings calls for Caterpillar, Chevron, and Phillips 66. And those are the earnings calls for the week. Back to you, Griff.
Thank you, Jane. Appreciate that. Hey, let's go up to the Big D, Detroit. I know it's cold up there. I see we got Dr. Ross on. Dr. Ross, which stocks should we be watching this week? What's happening?
Okay, good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening. Today we have stocks to watch for this week. We have Netflix, their ticker symbol NFLX. They are down $175.30 off of their 12-month high and $47.15 above their 12-month low. American Airlines, their ticker symbol is AAL. They are down $7.60 off of their 12-month high, and they are $3.47 above their 12-month low. United Airlines Holding, ticker symbol UAL, they are down $16.96 off of their 12-month high, and they are $7.86 above their 12-month low. Bank of America, ticker symbol BAC, they're down $2.18 off of their 12-month high, and they're $18.33 above their 12-month low. And last but not least, a stock to watch is Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs is down $45.19 off of their 12-month high, and they are $110.35 above their 12-month low. Those are the stocks to watch for this upcoming week. Back to you, Tim.
Hey, thank you, Dr. Ross. Thank you, Dr. Ross. Listen, we say it every week here on SNS Sunday Night Stocks, and you know one of your greatest weapons, family, that you have in the stock market is that you can't time the market, which means you will never be able to sell at the top, and you will never be able to buy at the bottom. So with that said, hey, listen, when you see a little green, you might want to take some profit. You might want to take a little bit off the top because you will never sell at the top and you will never buy at the bottom. Hey, listen, let's cover now our stock to watch. That was the one that we had last week. Let's take a look at it. Our stock that we had last week, that was a pick from SNS, was American Airlines. Yeah, you see it on the screen. There it is right there. That was our stock for last week to watch. Ticker symbol AAL is American Airlines. So for some of our newbies that may be on the call, you want to write that ticker symbol down. That's a good ticker symbol, AAL, American Airlines. A lot of us that are on the call probably have flown on this particular airline. Well, when we talked about it last week, and we thought this was a good pick for us to look at, it opened at $18.23. So if you got in the market the following Monday, which Monday was a holiday, so you got in on Tuesday, it was at $18.23. And then it did something kind of funny. You see that little red line going through all of the notes that I have on that sheet there. It closed on Friday below what it opened for on Tuesday. It closed on Friday at $16.30. Yes, indeed. So if we had some newbies on the call, and I know we do, if you decided to get into this particular trade and you said, you know what, that seems like a good company, I'm gonna buy me some American Airlines stock, and you purchase one share, well, you'll be looking at a pullback now of $1.93. American Airlines pulled back in that 4-day trading period. Yes, it did. It pulled back $1.93. So you got two questions, SNS family. Whenever you see a pullback on the stock, there's two questions you ought to ask yourself right off. If you're taking notes tonight, I want you to put these in your book, in your binder, whatever it is you're writing on, because I think these will be pivotal with you going forward and trading in this sphere. The first question you ought to ask yourself, will this company be around in the next 10 years? Do you see American Airlines within the next decade going belly up? Do you think American Airlines will fire everybody, get rid of the CEO, and take all of the planes and burn them up? Do you think American Airlines 10 years from now will still be in operation? If your answer to that question, that American Airlines will still be around 10 years from now, then I say you made a good investment. The reason I say you made a good investment is because we say it all the time. Put this in your notes. Stocks have a photogenic memory. And if they got there one time, it'll get back there and surpass it again. You just can't have what we call weak hands and shake Mr. Dow Jones' hand. Second question you ought to ask yourself, did you like the stock at $18? If you liked it at $18.23 on Tuesday of last week, then you definitely got to like it at $16.30. So if you can answer those two questions and you liked it at 18, what that means, write this down if you're taking notes tonight. Buy the dip. Yep. 4 words. Buy, then buy the dip. What I mean by buy the dip, you got it at 18.23. Well, go back in and get you some more of it, because now it's at 16.23. What that would do for you is that it would take your entry price down a little bit. So if you bought in at 18.23, depending upon how many shares you buy now at 16.30, that 18.23 will come down to 18.20 or $18 or 17.59 or 17 or even 16, based upon whatever you buy in that the stock has pulled back. So again, I think this is going to be our stock of the week because I like it, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy the dip. I'm going to get me some more of it because I believe if I liked it at $18.23, I'm definitely going to like it at $16.30. I'm going to ask my boy Kev to come in right now as I set up for the next presentation and just talk about American Airlines based on the numbers, what we've seen has done this week. And what do you think about the pullback? Kev, unmute your line. Talk to us.
Yeah, I think it's like anything else, Tim, is temporary. The markets right now are in a, kind of in a state of flux. We've got some Fed announcements coming up, soon. So you're probably seeing a lot of red out there. So, the rule of thumb is not to panic. I tell a story all the time about when I panicked, with some funds, a couple of years ago and how it impacted me. And I just kind of stayed the course. These things, they all come back. So I don't think that there's much to worry about. Like Tim said, if you liked it at 18, it's a steal at 16. So I'm going to jump in and probably, mount up a little bit. And it's actually sales season. A lot of stocks are on discount. So it's time to do a little bit of shopping and, build up those portfolios. So Netflix was another one that took a crazy hit. I mean, Netflix, I was watching Netflix. Netflix dropped over $100 in the after hours on Friday, which was a little bit crazy. So Netflix is another one that I'm probably going to dabble into. It's a little expensive, but I think I'm going to try to pick up a couple shares, being that it's so cheap right now, because I think in the long run, Netflix is going to correct itself and get itself back to normal. So
So
right back
Kev, you
at you,
said,
Tim. You look like you're ready.
yeah,
Good.
Netflix pulled back. Netflix pulled back in the after hours. I believe was that we were looking at that on that Friday, Kev. Next,
Yeah, we were looking at it
after it
Friday.
closed out, it pulled back $100 and some dollars.
Yeah, it was over $100 down. They had an earnings report, on Friday, and it wasn't the greatest of reports. It wasn't overly terrible, but there was some additional information that came out with Netflix too, in terms of we had known this already, but Netflix had raised their subscription rates, and that's not going over too well. And then a flurry of other things that are going on within the organization. But yeah, they pulled back over $100 in the after hours. This is not even during your standard trading hours. This is in the after hours. So it was pretty interesting to see that much of a drop in that company. So when we think about Netflix, I don't know how many people have Netflix accounts. I have one. A lot of people have Netflix. They're a major player in this space. So for Netflix to go down over $100, anybody looking to get into that company, this is the time that you want to try to pick up a couple shares. Like I said, it's expensive, but if there was ever a time to get yourself some Netflix, this is probably one of those times.
Yeah, I think Netflix was Dr. Ross, Kev, Netflix was on we talked about that last week as one of our stocks to watch, right?
Yeah.
And it was worth the watch to see it pull back $100. And that's what we try to do here, fam, on SNS, man. We get out and research this thing, and we got a great research team, and we try to put you in the great plays and give you the plays to look at and the things to be out there so that you will be up on the stuff. If you don't have an opportunity to do it, that's what this vehicle is for. We try to give you some, we definitely don't suggest that you do anything or tell you what, we may tell you what we're doing, but we definitely want to give you the information. Last week, what we did, we talked about limit orders and stop limit orders. This is your secret sauce. This is your secret sauce. Like Netflix and all of these other particular stocks, Costco or even Tesla or whatever it is, NEO, whatever it is you may get into, you want to be able to know how to put a stop limit and a stop order. And last week we went over this. We gave you the steps. I think Kev dealt with Fidelity. If you had a Fidelity account, he showed you how to go in and how to put your stop limit and how to put your stop order in. And then I discussed if you had a Webull account, how to put your stop limit and how to put your stop order in. And what we want to do tonight, like I said, it's not going to be a short call because I know Kansas City is playing and a lot of you all want to get to it, and I don't want to hold you any much longer than that. But I want to go over TD Ameritrade. There may be a lot of you all tonight that have a TD Ameritrade. So if you got your pads and stuff, I'm going to give you the steps how to put that stop order in. And the reason you do this, let's just say that you went in and you purchased, we talked about our stock to watch is American Airlines. And American Airlines has pulled back now to $16.30. Well, say for instance, last week, when you put that order in, and when you put that order in, you put your stop limit in, guess what it did? It bumped you out of the trade. And that's what you want to have if you get a pullback like that. So for some of you, you might lost 80 cents. For some of you, you might have lost 90 cents. For some of you, you might have lost $1.93, but it bumped you out of the trade, which means that you're not going to lose no more than that $1.93 because you put your stop limit in or you put your stop order in. And this is very critical of keeping you from just, setting it, forgetting it. And for a lot of my newbies and for a lot of the new investors that's on the call, you want to get these procedures down. This is your defense, against the stock market. So if you have a TD Ameritrade account, if you're not on that phone, if you're not on that apparatus, pull it out, and I'm gonna go over some steps, and you write these steps down, and it'll definitely show you how to put your stop limit and your limit market order in, so that you can defend against if there is a stock that does what American Airlines do, and that's pulled back. All right, so let's get into it. All right, as you see on the screen here, this is TD Ameritrade, and if you have a TD Ameritrade, I want you to open it up now to your main screen. And once you get to your main screen and your TD Ameritrade account, you're going to get to what's called your dashboard. And the dashboard will look like this on the front. And if you have about 8, 9, 10, 12 stocks in there, all of your stocks now at this point that you have your TD Ameritrade account open should look like this. And you will see a series of stocks in your TD Ameritrade account. Once you open it up, this is your dashboard. You have dashboard, watch list, markets, and accounts. We're not going to worry about watch list, markets, and accounts tonight. We're just going to deal with the dashboard. We're not going to deal with trade because we're not going to buy anything tonight. Tonight, what I want to show you for the next few minutes is I want to be able to show you how to put your stop limit order in or your stop market order in so that you will be able to be bumped out of a trade in the event that you get a pullback on a selection or on a security that you may have invested in. So by now you ought to have the account up, TD Ameritrade. So what I would like for you to do, if you were going to put a stop limit order on, what you would do is you'll look at those particular stocks that you have in your account there. And let's just say, for instance, you had your account up and you had Best Buy, you had Costco, you had Yum, which is a combination of Pizza Hut, KFC, and Taco Bell. You had Walmart and Foot Locker. So all of those particular stocks will be showing right now. Just for the sake of this particular exercise, all I want you to do is click on one of those stocks. So with what you're seeing up here, I'm going to click on Sensoronics. I'm just going to push that one. Once you push or click on Sensoronics, the next screen you're going to see is this wrap-up screen right here. You'll see this wrap-up screen with that particular stock. And it'll tell you if you got 100 shares, if you got 9 shares, if you got 19 shares, 3 shares, 4 shares, the like. It will say Sensoronics or it will say Tesla, NEO, whichever one, how many shares, at what price you bought it at, and it'll give you this market stream. And you'll see detailed quote, you'll see add to the position, reduce the position, close the position, or you will see create an alert. All right. On another time, we're going to talk about these alerts on a call because you want to put these alerts on so that you get text messages when a stock goes up or down. But that's for another session. All right. So when you see this wrap up screen right here, I want you to select close position. So you'll just push on close position. And once you push on close position, the next screen you will see will be this wrap up screen right here. You will see sell and limit, sell and stop limit. You'll see action and type. So if you're following me now, this is what you'll be seeing. I'll go back real quick. That's your dashboard. Click on Sensoronics. This gives you the Sensoronics wrap-up screen. You'll hit close position, and now you'll be right here where we are. Action and type. So the only thing I want you to do now is you're getting ready to put a stop limit or a stop market order in. So with this wrap-up screen right here, what you would do is you would see where it says action, you'll leave sell there. And over here where it says type, you'll click on type and you will put stop limit, which I've already done. So you see stop limit on there. Or if you click on that type, you'll see a bunch of items that it'll give you. Or you can do a stop market order. All right. So you got stop limit and stop market. So what you'll do if you had 9 shares or if you had 1 share or if you had 100 shares, you'll put the number of shares right there with what it says, where it says shares at. And if you notice, you got 2 different things here. You got a price and you have an activation price. And the reason you have 2 different things here is because you want to make sure that you get the price that you want when you want them to bump you out of this position. So what you got to do is you got to kind of spread it a little bit. And the reason I say spread it a little bit is because, say, for instance, you put in 261 and this particular stock was moving so fast when it was dropping that it blew through 261. Well, if you only leave 261 there and you don't put an activation price, chances are you're not going to be able to get out of this particular stock and it's going to blow right through it. So that's why you see activation price. So what you would do is you would put, I want to stop limit at 261, but then you'll give yourself some room. So you will say 261 and then down at the activation price, you may put 241 or 231, which you're giving yourself a little room so that when your brokerage firm, whoever it is, for this particular sake, it's TD Ameritrade, but it could be Webull, it could be Fidelity, it could be E-Trade. You got to give the brokerage firm chance enough to get you out of the position. Because if you only leave a price in there, and if that price start pulling back so fast, you don't give them an opportunity to get you out. So what I would normally do, if it was me, I would put 261 where I want to get out. And then I would put 161 down in the activation price, which gives me $1 spread, so that if it blows through 261 and then it starts halting or it slows up, now that gives my brokerage firm enough time to get me out of this position before it blows through to the other one. So that's why you see those two different prices there. You want to give yourself a chance whenever you're doing a stop limit. And I like stop limits, family, because stop limits guarantees me the ability to kind of get out of this position at the price I want to get out at. So if I want to lose $2, or if I want to get out at $3 or $4, if it pulls back, then it gets me out at $10 or $20, it pulls back at that. And then I'm not sitting with an account like a lot of us have with a bunch of red in it. And now I'm 30% down in one stock, 35% down in one stock, 50% down in one stock, 80% down in one stock. You being those type of percentages down will never happen again to you, because we're giving you your secret sauce. We're teaching you the secret sauce tonight and last week of how not to have those particular percentage down in your particular portfolio. And you will not be that down when you set your stop limit. Now, this is a stop limit. On this same wrap-up screen, family, if you would hit the type, then you will see what's called a stop market. Stop market is good, but I like stop limit a little bit better, because when you do a stop market, what happens is, say you put stop market, it's not going to let you have an activation price. When you do stop market, the activation price goes away, and then it just has a price on here, and which means the market is going to get you out when the market can get you out. So if it blows through the 261 and it goes all the way back down, the market may not get you out until it reaches 15% or 20% or 30%. You will get out, but you just won't get out at the desired amount that you want to get out. That's why I like stop limit a little better than stop market. Now, if you just want to get out of a position, stop market is it, because it's going to guarantee that you get out of that position. All right. So I wanted to cover that so that you all will be able to have that. We did Fidelity, we did Webull, and now that was TD Ameritrade, so that you can have it. And that's your secret sauce, family. That is your secret sauce. Anytime you get into a stock position, you want to put a stop limit in, because that protects your money, and that protects you from just having a position that you're 50% down in, you're 40% down in, or you're 30% down in, because it'll just bump you out, and there'll always be another play. Okay. So with that said, I'm gonna throw it back to Kev so he can do a little Q&A. And that's all I got for you tonight. Our stock of the week, our stock pick of the week is, again, American Airlines. I like it. I'm double downing on it. I'm bullish on it. Trust me, I am. Because I don't see American Airlines, family, going out of business in the next 10 years. Kev, what say you?
Hey, Tim, work with me a little bit, man, just to put what you went through into perspective. So it's almost like setting up a meeting. If you need to be somewhere, you can set up a meeting and have a reminder on your phone or however you set things up. But Tim, if I say, hey man, I know I owe you $500, why don't you meet me on the on February 12th at 2 p.m. Over here down on 14th Street, and I'm gonna give you the $500. Now, if you ain't there, I owe somebody else the money, so I got to give it to them. Now, Tim, if you don't write that date down and the time down and the place where I told you to meet, what's gonna happen on February 12th?
The money going to somebody else.
The money going to somebody else, because I'm gonna call you after I done give it to somebody else, and I'm gonna say, hey man, what happened? You're gonna say, hey Kev, what you talking about, man? Tim, I told you, man, that $500, meet me over here. You didn't set it? Oh man, I didn't write it down. So okay, I'll meet you now. It's too late, buddy. That money is gone. So just to kind of put what Tim went through into perspective, that's how fast these things can work. You know what I mean? That's why it's important for you to set those limits, set those parameters. Like I said, it's almost like setting up a meeting with reminders, so that when you set it, you can go away from it and do what you got to do. And then the system is going to take care of the transaction for you. You can limit your loss. That's why they call them limits. You can limit your loss or you can limit your profit. It also goes in the positive direction too.
Yes.
You want to set your limits to say, hey, I know that this stock is shooting up and down all day, up and down all day. It goes anywhere from $10 to $25. That's a big range. I'm just making an example. But you want to be able to set your limit. You know, if it gets up to $25, you know what? Get me out of it. Now the stock is sitting there going from 10 to 20, 10 to 20, 10 to 20, and then boop, it goes up to 25 real quick and then comes on back down. Well, if you didn't have your limit set at that 25, it may sell you out at $20 or $15. So you're going to lose some of that money. So those limits go both ways. So I just wanted to paint a different picture of how important it is to set that meeting reminder, you know, for yourself with these limit orders. So with that, we'll open it up to the group. We got quite a few people out here. So does anybody have any questions or concerns or comments for this week? And you can unmute your phones if you talk. And I do this in meetings at work all the time. I start running my mouth and the mute button just be on. So unmute your phone if you have a question or comment.
Hey, Cap.
Yep.
I might have missed it, but was it mentioned that how long that stop will last?
Oh, Tim, throw it back at you. You want to cover it since you went through the steps?
Yes, that's right. Good catch, Roz. And I know she did that. I know she did that because she like, now he know better than that. He know he was supposed to talk about that. But good catch, Roz. You're exactly right. Let's go back to the example. If you look down here at the bottom, and it was in my notes, I'm sorry. Thank you so much. That's why we love y'all up in Detroit, even though y'all so cold and freezing and can't get out y'all house. If you look back at the screen right here, you see down where it says expiration, and you see it says date. Now, if we left that in and we put this stop limit in Sunday night stocks, once the market closed at 4:30, that would be it. So if it never reached the price, that means this whole stop limit that you put in, it goes away. So you're thinking that, oh, wow, okay, I ain't worrying about it. I got my stop limit in. No, because remember, look down at the bottom of the box. The expiration on it was just for that date. Well, if you click this box, you're going to get 3 letters that says GTC. Write this in your notes. You're going to like this. G as in Griff, T as in theology, C as in Christian. GTC stands for good till cancel. And that's the one you want to select. You want to select GTC, good till cancel, because that means you don't have to go back in. You don't have to set any more limits on that particular security, that particular stock, because you already put your, as Kev said, your reminder in there. I already know for me to get that $500 that Kev was talking about on February the 12th at 2 p.m., I need to make sure that I got my limit set and I got my expiration date. He said February 12th. Hey, listen, he didn't say February 13th. He didn't say February 14th. Any of them days is not good. I got to be there at 2 p.m. at 12. So that's what you want to do on that. Good catch, Ross. Back to you, Kev.
Yeah, man, I just made them dates and times up, man, but you stuck to them, man. Do I really owe you some money or something? I just randomly threw some numbers out there, man. You came and spit it right back. The 12th at 2 p.m. Yeah. So unmute your phone if you guys have any comments. There's a lot of volatility in the market this week. So I think we're all familiar with seeing a little red, and you know, with the Fed announcements coming up, you know, this week, it's has a potential to be red for a little bit more. But we open it up to questions. That's what we're here for, to share information. Go ahead.
This is Hyacinth, and I just want to find out, you said when you see a lot of red, and if you keep seeing a lot of red over the last several weeks and you've lost money, that's okay, particularly if you want long term. Is that fine?
Yeah, that's correct. Now, when you're looking at these stocks, what you also want to do is you want to look at the you know, the long-term viability of the companies that you've invested in. So you want to, when you start seeing that red for, like, you know, more of a period of time that you want to see, start looking at some news and investing some time into looking to see what's going on with the company, because sometimes it's just a market. And when you look across the entire landscape, of the market, you'll see that a lot of things are red. The other thing that you want to do is the companies that you're invested in, all of these companies have what they call a market segment. You want to look at the segment of the business that your particular stock is in. And when you look across the set, you can say, oh, wow, all of those markets are red. Like American Airlines, for example, the whole airline industry could be red. You know what I mean? If it's pharmaceuticals, you can say, wow, what is going on with my stock? And then you happen to look at the whole segment, you say, wow, okay, all of the pharmaceuticals are down. So it's just, you want to do a little bit of research, just to
Okay,
make sure
online, do
that-
I look at the segment,
Yes.
the company segments online?
Yeah, you can find all that information online. Yep.
Oh, okay, all
Yeah.
right. Thank you very much.
Yep. And it's that simple. You can go to Google and just, whatever segment that particular company is in, you could literally go to Google and say, is this segment, down in the markets? And you'll get a lot of information that comes back that you can read and say, oh, okay, so I see what's going on, because it concerned me a little bit, because I thought I invested in a good company. And it turns out you did invest in a good company. So you could say to yourself, I'm going to ride this one out then, because I suspect that it's going to come back. So.
Okay,
Right.
okay, thanks.
Let me jump in real quick, Kev. Hey, listen, everybody, I want to, and since Ms. Hosink said that good stuff, I want to give you all the airlines right now. And I want you to write these ticker symbols down so that you can start watching them, because Kev brought that up right. They all are in red. So I want you to write these down. I want to give you United Airlines. United Airlines ticker symbol is UAL. UAL. I think they're trading now at about $41.63. All right. And Kev, back me up. Make sure I'm giving these what they're trading at properly. All right.
Yeah, Tim, I'm gonna ride with you. As you call them out, I'm gonna tell y'all if they up or down. UAL, United Airlines Holdings, down in the red.
In the red, right.
Go ahead.
And that's what we want to. All right, now let's go to Spirit Airlines. Spirit Airlines ticker symbol is SAVE, save. Spirit Airlines, SAVE. They're trading now at 2160. Kev, what say you?
In the red.
All right. Let's go to Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines ticker symbol LUV. Southwest Airlines ticker symbol LUV. They're trading at $43.20. Kev, what say you?
Although the ticker symbol says love, it ain't no love here. In the red.
Okay. All right. Let's go to JetBlue Airlines. JetBlue Airlines is ticker symbol JBLU. JetBlue is JB. L as in Lucy, U as in University. They're trading now at $13.71 per share. Kev, what say you?
In the red.
All right. Let's go to Delta Airlines. Delta Airlines, ticker symbol DAL. D as in dog, A as in apple, L as in Lucy. Delta Airlines, they're trading right now at $37.71 per share. Kev, what say you?
In the red.
All right. And then we covered American Airlines. I did that, family, because I know a lot of you all, especially a lot of people that's been rocking with us, our portfolios right now are in the red. We're down a little equity, but we've seen this movie before. We've been here before. We've been here by the dip. I'm talking to my trained people that are investors, people that are long-termers, people know the market. Listen, by the dip. We're not, you don't plant a tree today, a mango tree today in your front yard, and you pick mangoes at the end of the week. It just don't happen like that. We are investing. Continue to fund your account. Continue to put in there, because guess what? That money's going to grow over time. You don't start when you get a new job and they set you up with a 401k and you take your first 6% that comes out of your pay and it goes into that 401k. And then you like, okay, well, next week, y'all know I'm putting my resignation in. Oh, why are you putting your resignation? Oh, I'm retiring. That's 6%. That 6% they took out. Man, I got $6 million in there. No, it's over a period of time. Over a period of time. That's what investing is. All right, Kev, it's back on you.
Yeah, I just put just a little blurb in the comment section too, because Tim, I know that we did a session where we went through all the different sectors. So, going back to what I had said before, if you have a particular stock that you're concerned about, you want to go look at that sector. You want to look at the company to see if anything happened. Maybe there was some significant news. Maybe the CEO stepped down. Those are some things that'll drive the stock down. But if the company is a good company, they'll get a new CEO and the company's going to get itself back to where it needs to be. But if there's some other news going on that, the company is going financially in the opposite direction, then that's some decisions that you need to make at that point. But you also want to look at the sector to see if anything else is going on in the sector. That'll help to ease your vision a little bit when you're looking at all of that red. So, and when it comes back, you'll have a different perspective on it, and you'll learn something, because you'll say, wow, it took 2-3 months, but the $40 that I lost is now positive 120. That's a good thing. So again, I'm open back up for questions if anybody has any questions or comments.
Yes, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I have a question. My question happens to be the stocks that I had kind of been following were like the Blue Origins and the Virgin Galactics and, the space travel and all of that. And so my thoughts are, I wanted to know what you all thought about it. I did invest in Virgin Galactic, and I got to tell you, I set my stock portfolio at percentages, and it is down 85% right now. The buyer ratings or the way the buy, sell, that whole thing, the majority is saying either hold or to keep it, but I just want to know if there was any thoughts about that. I don't know if we discussed that at Sunday Night Stocks before, but that's where I'm kind of moving as far as my interest is in space travel and that kind of thing. And I just want to know if you think that's a good way to go.
So I'll take the first piece and just say that I don't have any experience. I haven't looked at Virgin Galactic. It's not an area that I have been looking in, but we've got, how many people we have? We got 25 people on here. So if anybody else on the call, because that's what we're here for, to share information. So if there's anybody else on the call that has some some expertise in that area, please unmute your phone and see if you can jump in. But I personally don't have much experience with it. Tim, I'm not sure. I know we kind of do the same thing, Tim. So I don't know.
Let me say this, Chris. What made you buy Virgin Galactic when you decided to buy that particular, invest in that particular company?
I just think it was the whole thing with like I said, Blue Origin, Bezos, all these people, some of them are moving into this field. And so I think Richard Branson and those, they weren't the first ones, I think, but they were one of them. And I think they were a little less expensive than Blue Origin. I said, well, maybe this might be a good way to go. Let me watch and see what's going on with that. And so that's why I went ahead and invested in it. I thought that it is something progressive. I think it is something that's coming. It may be a long way around the mountain, but it was still something that had interest, space travel. I think it's coming back privately. I think that is going to be something. So that's why I went ahead and invested in it. But it's like the bottom has just dropped out of it since I've done it. And so I don't know. I just was testing.
Okay. I could tell you this much. I just looked at the trend on it. So what I did was I just went to Google. You can go to Yahoo, whatever site you're more comfortable with. But I just looked at the trend on it, and this time last year it was at $60. So there's definitely some significance there. It's down for a reason. So I would probably want to take a look at some news reports and some trends and find out what happened, between this time last year. But last year, February 12th,
While you looking at that, Kev, I want to do something. I think this is great, and we got a lot of new investors on, and I think this is unmute your line, Chris. I want to ask you a couple questions. When you got ready to invest in it, I'm gonna give you three choices. You let me know if these three choices was one of them. And the reason I'm doing this, because I want all of us to learn, and I want some of the new people to kind of see where we're going with this. Would you say when you invested in Virgin Galactic, was it an emotional decision to invest in Virgin Galactic? Was it research that caused you to invest in Virgin Galactic? Or was it the popularity of Virgin Galactic that caused you to invest in it?
I think for me, I want to say it was a little bit more research, because I do know that the owner of Virgin Galactic is a person that's been in air travel for a number of years. He is well known in that industry. and considered to be a person of means or wealth or whatever. So I since other companies were doing it, I just felt it was like it was a risk, it's a new kind of thing, but I just decided to go that way. I didn't do it emotionally or anything like that. It wasn't an emotional thing. It was based on what I knew about Richard Branson and his company, which I believe this is one of those.
Right.
That's what helped me make the decision to go with it.
And that's good. Now watch this. And I'm glad you said that. And the reason I gave it, because some people, Chris, they invest in companies because they get emotional about them. I think this, or they get the popularity. Everybody's saying, talk about it. But what you said you did based on research, and you did it based on the CEO and founder, Mr. Branson. He's a great guy. Everything that he touches pretty much turns to gold. So it's almost like Steph Curry. If I'm gonna go down with Steph Curry shooting that 3-pointer, I'm gonna win the NBA championship with it, or I'm gonna lose the NBA championship with it. And what I'm saying, the reason I gave you that example is because even though you're 85% down now, you can do one or two things. You can buy the dip, and then you can bring that down, or you can just put that to the side of your portfolio and just let it sit in there and stop looking at it. Because here's what it does. When you get a particular stock like that, it'll depress you. And then you're like, man, I'm sick of this and I'm done that. No, that was just one investment that you invested in that, watch this, right now, it's a sector turn. Kev talked about sectors. The sector has turned. But guess what? The sector will turn back to Virgin Galactic. You will already be in that, and you're going to see your price ride back up. Kev told you at one point, I think it was at $60. So what you can do is every now and then, while it's down at that, I will buy me a couple more shares, especially if you believe in it. And what I'm hearing from you, you got a strong conviction of it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get me some tomorrow. Oh, buy me some Virgin Galactic tomorrow, because if it's dipped like that, it will come back. So that's good. I'm glad you did your research. And all I could tell you, just from being in positions, and I've been in positions like that. I'm in some positions like that now. Kev's been in positions. What I do is I just buy the dip. I go in there and I see Madam President shaking her hand. She's been in positions like that as well. And I just buy the dip every day to keep me positive about it. Guess what I do? I go in there and I, like tomorrow, in one of mine that I'm like 85% down, I go grab me 3 more shares. Next day, I grab me 1 share. Next day, I just keep buying more, because guess what? You haven't lost no money, Chris, until you shake Mr. Dow Jones' hand. And what I mean by shake his hand, until you sell out of that position. If you don't sell out of that position, Virgin Galactic is going to be around the next 10 years. Guess what? It's coming back, and your money shall rise again. You'll see the resurrection.
Let me just say one other thing so you can take someone else for tonight. That's exactly what's happening in the fuel charging segment. That is exactly what's happening. The fuel cells, the charge points, all of those are down right now. And I know it has to do with what we talked about, the Build Back Better and all that. They're waiting for the infrastructure money and all that to come back through again. So I'm riding a wave. I'm riding it until it comes back around again. So that whole segment is down right now. So that's exactly what you were talking about. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate
Kev, you want to add some more on that, Virgin?
Yeah, I'm gonna add some more on that charge point, because that wave you was talking about, me and Tim was riding that wave. Well, both of us was on the same surfboard and fell off. So we got bitten a little bit with charge point. We did an options play, with charge point. That's what we hear. We're a family. We don't have a problem sharing information, but we got caught up in that. Our expectation was that, things were going to shift in the opposite direction, and we got caught a little bit on that one. But we do believe that they're going to come back, and the same applies to space. The symbol for that stock is SPCE. And I'm glad that you brought it up, Christine, because I'm actually going to pick some of that up tomorrow. Yep. It's at a bargain right now. Yeah. Like I said, this time last year, that stock was around $60. And then I think also the April-May timeframe, it had dipped, and then it had got back up, and then it came back down again. So I think it's just a matter of time for it to turn. So I think I'm going to take a deeper look into that tomorrow.
Me too.
Anybody else have any other questions or anything they want to share?
Greg and Claire have had I don't know if their hands stuck up or but it's been up for a minute.
That's G Trent, all things crypto.
Oh, how you doing?
Good.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I just wanted to say one thing about the Galactic. It's on my watch list. It's been there for a couple of years now. Yeah, the thing is that when the billionaires companies, they don't care as much about making a profit as investors go up with news. Last year, I think when Kev mentioned that they were at 60 was when they had that space flight that was in the news, and they advertised it, and they had the live action photos and everything. That's when that went up. After that, there hasn't been much in terms of their having publicized flights, so that's why it's been coming down. So you'll see that kind of a cyclical up and down with those stocks, because they're more based on news than they are on profit. So it's a little harder to do any kind of investigation into their finances, because right now they're more driven by news than they are by finances.
So that's a real good point, because at the price point, so Greg, let me ask you a question. At the price point they're at now, like you mentioned, you've been keeping an eye on it too. What would your thoughts be on, well, as we say, we're keeping an eye on it, but if it's predicated on news reports, if we hear some information that somebody else is going up, it could be a potential good opportunity to jump in and, get it low and ride it up a little bit. Once that flight comes back to earth, you get your profits and say, all right, well, I'm grounded now, I'm out. I'll wait to the next one. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, this is a good time. I haven't seen the price in the last couple of days. We've been traveling, so if it's in the teens,
It's below the teens.
It's below the teens now.
It's $8.47.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I would definitely look at it to buy more. The problem right now is that the whole market is down, and so there's all this news about the inflation rate and Omicron and all that stuff. But yeah, I would watch it right now, and maybe do a little dollar averaging. Get it a little bit now, a little bit more if it drops down a little bit more. But at this point, at 8, it's not going to drop much farther, obviously. And the difference between 8 and 0, it's not going to go to 0. But that difference, and the difference between 8 and 60, obviously there's a lot of upside.
Christina,
but, I would watch it a little bit. I would watch it a little bit more, just to make sure it doesn't, go down to the 7-6 range. Because if you look at the profits, right? If you look at the PE ratio, price earnings ratio, it's probably not that great, because they're probably not making any profit at this point. So that allows it to drop down as far as you're seeing it drop down. But based on the name, and the potential for the future increase, that's what it's trading on right now. So that's why there's such a big range. If there isn't profit for people to look at and, give an actual dollar value, then the price is riding more on sentiment than it is on actual, numbers that can be looked at.
No, I don't think I have a choice at this point. I'm going to have to hold it, because I don't want to go down in a hail of bullets like that. I'm going to have to ride it to see what's around the corner. And as Kev suggested, when I get so far in it, because I don't want to be riding these kind of waves, I would much rather jump in and jump out with this particular company. So I'm just going to ride it until it comes back, and then jump out, and then come back in at some point.
Yeah. And Tim had mentioned the dollar cost averaging. Did that make sense to you? If not, we can explain that real quick.
No, it doesn't make sense. If you can explain it, that'd be great.
Okay, Tim, do you want to take that one since you raised it? We'll go just see if she could DCA a little bit.
I'm gonna call Chris tomorrow, and I'll go over that with her personally. But we're gonna do a show on dollar cost averaging. When I do whiteboard wisdom, so we'll do a show on it.
All right, it's 9:02. Anybody have anything else?
My
Yeah,
question,
got a question.
go ahead.
Hey, Griff.
Yes, sir.
I don't know whether anyone have heard the news, but I got some info that because of the possible invasion of Russia and Ukraine, talking about the amicable or exile or something supposed to be having maybe some time to try to get on board with some of that. Anybody hear any news about that or know anything about that?
That's a great possibility. I'll give you the ticker symbol to look at and watch this stock, because this is the stock whenever they have that stuff. And I think we was on another call and we brought that up. We didn't bring it up tonight. Good catch. I think that's Pastor Thurn in Hampton, Virginia. Yeah, Hampton, Virginia, Newport News. Yeah. Ticker symbol GUSH. Gush. Yeah, GUSH. You can watch that and do your little DD. Put that on your watch list.
All right, we have anything else? All right, Tim, I think we good.
Okay, what I want to do real quick is we got a few minutes and then we're gonna get off. Any first time persons on this call, I want you to unmute yourself and I want you to introduce yourself to the family. If this is your first time on Sunday Night Stocks tonight, this is your first time on the call, please unmute your line at this time. We definitely want to salute you and hear from you, and just tell us who you are.
Well, I'll go first. My name is Cynthia Robinson from Jacksonville, and I'm on at the invitation of the awesome Miss Angela Williams, and it has certainly been a blessing to me. My head is swimming. It's because I'm pulling in a lot, but I think it's going to be awesome. So thank you all so much for the opportunity.
Oh, thank you so much, and we're glad to have you a part of the family. You're going to learn a lot. And like I said, we got a lot of people on here. We got millionaires, we got thousandaires, we got hundredaires, $50 and $1 So you got a mixed bag. So we all helping each other. Nice to have you, and I'm glad you're a part of the family. Anyone else?
I think the other ones kind of dropped off, Griff.
Okay, all right. Well, hey, listen, it's 9:05. We're 5 minutes over. We're going to have our resident bishop. Bishop, unmute your line. Give us the bishop tape. Bishop, what say you?
Man, listen, this has been another great meeting tonight. Kudos to the head of states, both you and Greg, for facilitating. And just bear in mind that none of us have a crystal ball that really works, that we can be 100% and what we're going to say or what we're going to do, but we can do our due diligence. And tonight, thanks again to Tim and Greg for giving us the secret sauce as to how we can limit, our losses if that's what it takes. Bear in mind that we got to pay attention to the market, pay attention to what's happening, impacting the market, Omicron, inflation, Ukraine, the supply chain, all of those things have direct impact on the market. So we want to make sure we are cautious, but yet, do our due diligence to survive in this season. The things are going to change. We just don't know when. But if we do our DD, when it does change, we'll be in the best position to make the best profit available. Greg and Tim, if you guys next week can talk about defensive stocks, if there are some defensive stocks that we can invest in that normally don't, fluctuate, not so volatile in this type of proceeding. So we can get those out and give people an opportunity to help stabilize their portfolios by
Yes.
investing in some defensive stocks.
Yes.
That would be great. But listen, guys, this is football season. The playoff is on TV. God has been good. God is good. And this has been another great meeting. So we are praying God's blessings upon you and your family. Be safe and be blessed in Jesus' name.